Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Weedle, and today I'm going to be taking a very early look at the new British heavy line coming into the game. And yes, the Brits are getting double barrel tanks. I know it's getting fashionable. There's a few of them already in the game. There's going to be a French one, there's Russians, and there's one American double barrel tank. So why not the Brits join the party? First question of the day is, how do you actually pronounce this tank? Kapinner, maybe? I don't know. Everyone's going to call this the can opener. Let's be honest. So, is this going to be any different than every other double barrel tank? Well, yes, it is. It is getting its own unique gun mechanic. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later in this video, as well as there is a new Tier 8 Premium that will be coming with this line. And we can probably expect to see that in the Christmas loot boxes would be my best guess. So, hold your horses, guys, and let's see what we got. So first off, what are we going to notice about this tank? From the data mining, obviously it's in Russian, and I don't speak Russian, but that's okay. We know it's going to have 420 alpha damage. So 420 seems to be a new number that Wargaming's decided is pretty good. So we're probably going to be seeing more of it. 258 on the average pin. We're going to take a look at the ammo as well as 2600 and 28 DPM. Now, this being a double barrel tank, I don't think we'll be able to put gun rammers on it, which tells me it's probably going to need vents with food and vents and, you know, brothers in arms. I suspect this thing will be getting around 2800 DPM or ish, but we'll see when it finally comes out. Like I said, very early, it just hit the super test servers. What can we tell about the penetration? Well, the premium rounds are going to be APCR with 318 pin. That's going to put it somewhere, actually I think that a little bit higher than a VZ55, so it's not unworkable. It's not certainly fantastic. One thing I do want to point out is the dispersion on this. So we'll take a look at this when I get to how the gun works, but 0.32 accuracy on when you're firing single fire mode, pretty decent for a heavy tank, to be honest. But look at when you go into this siege mode, 1.15. Yes, the Brits actually made a tank that fires less accurate in siege mode. Go figure. 2400 base hit points. Just a few things we can figure out from this. Now, what is the siege mode going to look like? Well, it's going to look something like this. So as you're firing the single barrel mode, looks very, similar to every other tank. And you get the salvo mode, is what they're calling it. Now, what's that going to really look like? I don't know why they're calling it salvo mode, but this is where we're going to get into how this is actually going to work. It's going to have 120 millimeter guns. When you fire the salvo, it's doubling the damage for 240. Now, in single fire mode, the gun shoots alternatively. Okay, starting with the left gun, you can fire one of the guns only after the other is fully reloaded. So unlike the Russians, where you can kind of spin both barrels and, you know, fire one as it kind of comes back up, or the Americans or anyone else, you have to have both barrels reloaded before it can fire a single round, which is interesting and makes firing salvo a little risky sometimes, obviously, especially with the reduced accuracy. But let's get to that. In the single fire mode, the gameplay is very much like the British single barreled heavy line. Stabilization, accuracy, aim time, not bad. Salvo mode. The tank's top speed and turret speed are reduced. The gun takes longer to fully aim. Let's get my head out of the way so y'all can see this. The accuracy is lower than in the single fire mode, but the stabilization improves dramatically, and the one-time damage is doubled, and the DPM stays the same. So basically each barrel takes the exact same to reload. So basically, if it's a 9.5 second reload, you're going to have a 19-second reload to get the whole thing loaded. The reloading time for the salvo is always ×2 the reloading speed of single fire mode. Okay, if you shoot the salvo, you need to wait twice as long, as the guns must fully reload before you can fire one of them. So the Brits have certainly done this. There's a little bit as far as the new tech tree. The Tier 8 tank, Tier 7, the Tier 8, and the Tier 9 tanks don't have a name yet. As you can see, this is pretty early in the development. And then we have the can opener. I'm going to keep calling it that. The big question is what tank is going to get you there? And my best guess early on is going to be the Churchill 7. It'll just kind of come up and over or do something like that. But it could also be the Black Prince. We'll see what Wargaming decides. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a new tier 6 tank, so it's coming from one of these. So that's it for this one. Let's take a look at the new premium tank. Who named these things? The Contradictorous. Okay, so here's my question. What are people actually going to call this thing? Because they're going to shorten that. My best guess, it's going to either be the Condic, the Dickerous, or the Dick. It's going to be one of those. I didn't name the tank. I'm sorry. All right, so what is the premium going to look like? Well, this is in Tanks GG, so we can certainly take a better look at it. Right now, the DPM just got nerfed a little bit. It's down to 1,877. Really not that great for a tier 8, but it's not worse. I mean, there's a lot of tier 8 tanks with similar DPM. Alpha 360, base penetration 218, not incredible at all. Dispersion 0.35. I mean, workable. I mean, it's pretty average for tier 8, to be honest. But not all as bad. So there's a few things. The top speed, the traverse, all look pretty decent on it. You get 10 degrees gun depression. That's really good. And this thing is going to be pretty nasty. But let's see when you turn siege mode on. You can see this is going to work a lot like the tier 10. So if you look at like the top speed here, obviously goes from 36 to 20. So yes, it does get slower in that siege mode, but look at the aim time, 3.36 seconds, 1.15 dispersion. Certainly the siege mode or salvo mode, and I'd be curious, does it go into it instantly or is there going to be a wait? And we're just going to have to wait till we kind of see a little bit more on this. But it certainly looks like it's one of those things of, well, I'm about to die, fire both barrels and just dump 4, you know, in this case, it would be like a little over 700 damage into another player. That's kind of where it looks like this thing's kind of landing is. It's a single shot gun most of the time, but in those like last stands or you just need to dump both barrels into something that's really, really close to you. Certainly it has that capability. As far as the 3D modeling goes, this is where this thing looks quite interesting. Obviously it's going to be able to side scrape pretty good. I mean, looking at about 80 millimeters armor, 70. That's not 100 down here. That's actually not that bad, honestly, for a tier 8. See, look at the turret right here. That is going to be nasty hold down. Obviously, it's got the cupola up here, but, you know, once you start using that gun depression and it starts looking down, see if I can't get this right. Okay. So let's say it's looking down at you like that. Yeah, you're looking at basically 300. Look at this. It's still strong, even under the barrels, between the barrels. Like, that's going to be pretty nasty to try to deal with right here. And even a good upper plate, you know, 240 or so, that's not going to be an auto pin. Obviously, if that's not even that weak of an overplate either. Most you're still going to pin it a lot, but if you're seeing like tier 6s particularly, they're going to struggle with that. And yeah, even come around the front, it's not bad. Definitely this thing's going to be a bully. It's going to be a pretty good side scraper, side of the turret. I mean, it's not. This really does kind of look like a British version of a Swedish tank heavy. I mean, that's basically what it looks like. Very nice turret. Anyways, this looks pretty exciting. There's a few tanks that are definitely pretty much confirmed or highly suspected are going to be in those Christmas loot boxes. You know, there's a new Czechoslovakian light tank. It's on Tanks GG right now, so you can take a look at it. It looks a lot like the tier 9 light tank from that line, as far as just like the style of the tank. There's this new British double barrel tank. So Christmas loot boxes are kind of looking like they're going to be exciting in my opinion. Some pretty decent tanks, nothing overpowered yet, but definitely looks like there's some fun going to be had around the holiday times this year. Let me know what you think of this, and if you would like me to do more early releases in the future. Apologize. I want to throw out a big shout out to Viper. He helped me put this together, did all the data mining. I could not have done it because I'm not that computer savvy. But anyways, that's it for this, guys. Keep tanking, and hopefully I'll see y'all on the field.